Now, let's talk about other things, our phones, which are like our personal companions, our private tools that allow us to enter the world of information technology. But if you are online, then you are at risk. Unfortunately, that is exactly how it is. And the big thing here is data. And I'm not talking about the data that you use to browse, but more of the information, your photos, your messages, and your emails. And here to shed some light on the situation is Mr. Charl Ueckermann from AVeS. He is the CEO of AVeS Cybersecurity. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So now I'm already scared because even the device I'm holding in my hand right now is online, so I am at risk. But what are some of those everyday risks that people come to experience, and how secure are our personal devices, especially the whole username password configuration that we think is so secure?
Yeah, I think, your username and password is just like a key to a house. That's the key of getting entry into your property. Username and password is exactly the same. Don't use your own name or password at 123, etc., etc. People tend to do it. And 80% of people actually use very, very simple passwords, and they're actually putting themselves at risk.
Sure. So what are some of the ways that hackers are gaining access to our personal devices these days?
I think most of the time people go to sites. They download things like free antivirus.
Yes.
And free antivirus is probably a hacker's site, which downloads malware onto your computer, and they then do key logging. They can actually then have access to your computer without you even knowing it. So you download and allow them to actually enter your house without vetting whether that's really the right guy that you want into your property.
Yeah, because there's some software there on the back end that you don't know about. They can put a beautiful screen in front of you and say this will protect your computer. Meanwhile, it's doing the exact opposite. And then comes, of course, all of the apps that we download on our phones and that we use every day.
Correct. Yeah, I think from an app's point of view, your Android, typically your Android devices, your Apple devices not as much, but your Android devices, 99% of all viruses and malware are actually written on Android code, which means always make sure that you even have an antivirus on your phone or on your Android device itself. It's good to do.
So then we'll talk about the cloud just now, but when you mentioned that, whose responsibility is it then to make sure that when these codes are written that they don't have access to the software that you download? Is it your responsibility?
Well, ultimately, your safety is your responsibility. It certainly is. There could be so much legislation trying to protect us as citizens, but at the end of the day is what we allow within our own environment and our own IT environment, and what we download on as far as apps is concerned.
Your safety, your responsibility. So
yes.
What about cloud computing then? The storage of all kinds of data on a cloud. How safe is that?
Cloud is also safe because you still work with a username and password. Use the reputable cloud platforms. Don't use any Bulgarian sort of like cloud platform where things are probably downloaded or coded into your computer.
When you say the reputable ones, which ones are those?
Microsoft's OneDrive, Dropbox, Google Drive, those are fine.
Yes.
You can use them.
All right, fantastic. So in making sure that your data is protected, you make sure that you are protected as well. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. So as Mr. Ueckermann just said, I think the takeaway from this is that your safety online is your responsibility. So make sure that you put in all of those protocols and what you need to ensure that nobody can hack into your device. But right now, let's also find out what else is coming up on your Feel Good Breakfast show. Gents, I hope that you're using passwords that are better than 123 straight on 456.